There's been talk about how there's a crime wave that's going across America right now. And there is a crime wave, but there's also a police brutality crime wave too. And so my guess is that it's warm. It's just getting warmer. We just had a warm day. We had a warm day, and so now all the criminals want to go around doing their criminal thing, cops want to go around doing their cops thing, and then the nonviolent people, I guess, are just going to have to form their own cult and take a state over. And so, according to my calculation, there's been a whole bunch of incidents. Most of these have turned into executions, so there's been probably about 10 to a dozen executions. There was something that happened on the 25th, the 26th, the 28th, one incident on each one of those days. On the 29th, there's 3 incidents. On the 30th, there was 4 incidents. And then on the 31st, there was 2 incidents. So American cops have executed at least 10 people. At least 10 people. So let's go through these dozen incidents that have happened at the end of March. It's April 1st right now. It's April 1st. But yesterday in Chicago, there was an unknown male who was killed by an unknown male. So some unknown cop killed an unknown person, and the story, it was ABC7Chicago.com, so watch out for them. Are they just, in bed with the criminals in order to get the good story? ABC7Chicago.com, they're not going to mention any names. Who did what, who shot who. Nobody knows who shot who. Nobody knows if I assume they're males, but that's probably, who knows, right? Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows if they're, if they're males, if they're, what their race are. Nobody knows anything. So, the article, though, did say that the individual pulled out a gun. Okay, so we know that, right? We don't know who did what, but we know that the person that got murdered, he deserved it because he pulled out a gun. Did the cop pull out a throwaway? Did the cop put a gun into his hands and make it look like he had a gun? I think it'd be so easy. It would be the easiest thing in the world for the police to get away with murder. All the police would have to do is just shoot anybody that they want to, and then put a gun in that person's hand, and then say, oops, my body camera, malfunctioned. Oops, I forgot to turn on the body camera. So it would be so easy for them to do it. I'm not saying that it was just that you want me to believe. No, you got to prove to me. You murdered that man. You got a body camera. You need to prove to me that that man needed to die. You got to prove that to me. And you're just going to tell me, oh, he had a gun? If he had a gun and he's pulling a gun out, you got, a right to defend yourself. But if you're just, chasing the person and you get tired and you want to shoot him in the back, that's a different question now, isn't it? Because this case, this is March 31st, 2021, Chicago. The cop is okay. Don't worry. I don't know if you guys are worried about the cop. The cop is fine. But the person that he was chasing, at first they reported that he got shot in the leg. Okay, guy, subject shot in the leg. And then they reported that he got CPR, which if you got shot in the leg, what are you getting CPR for? Maybe there's another shot. Maybe he got shot in the head or in the heart too. And then they're going to report later on at the hospital that he died. So that's an execution. A cop killed a person yesterday in Chicago. A Chicago cop murdered a Chicago citizen. A Chicago cop killed a Chicagoan. Did they deserve to die? We're supposed to believe it. We don't even know. I mean, if anything, I guess I'm glad that something was said about something. Another thing is, The Guardian used to have all the police shootings, all the people that the cops have killed in America, and they were counting each and every day, each and every number, but now I haven't seen that count. I've seen something on Wikipedia. How come we as Americans don't know what our cops are up to? We as Americans don't know what our military is up to. We as Americans, we're just totally in the blind when it comes to whatever the government's doing. Just trust your government, America. Don't you worry. So, okay, that was March 31st. March 30th. I got a whole page full, so I might just do 3 at a time. 41-year-old Kevin Lee Donovan. Kevin Lee Donovan, he had pointed a gun and he shot. Now, that's an interesting addition there. So, March 30th, 2021, this is going to be at Mountain Home, Arkansas. So, killing people in Chicago, killing people in Arkansas. 7:30 p.m. on U.S. Highway 62. Now, apparently, so let's see, Adrian, Missouri. This is Kevin Lee Donovan of Adrian, Missouri. So 41-year-old Kevin Lee Donovan of Adrian, Missouri. He pointed a gun and he shot. He didn't just brandish a gun. He didn't just have a gun. They didn't just find a gun on the scene, which is what another one said. There's a gun found on the scene. Was it his gun? You found a gun? All the cops had guns. What do you mean there's a gun on the scene? There was a gun on the scene, and a lot of cops with guns. Did they put it there? Maybe. We don't know. So, okay, Kevin Lee Donovan, he was wanted in Missouri for drugs and shooting a gun. And I'm wondering about his race. He's going to get executed. They found him at a convenience store. I'm wondering about the drugs, too. Was it marijuana or was it, meth? Was it, and then shooting a gun, was it some bullshit or was it, So, yeah, those charges. But anyways, he had a warrant in Missouri. They found him at a convenience store. And then they said that when they went to arrest him, the cop and the bondsman, so the cop gets some regular guy, hey, regular guy, you want to help me arrest him? So two assholes are going to go, and then the guy's backing away, Kevin Lee Donovan. And again, we don't know who the police are. Somehow we delete the police out of the thing. They'll get administrative leave, and they'll get a slap on the wrist if they even get punished. But how come we don't even say who the guy is? The guy murdered a fucking guy. An execution happened. Kevin Lee Donovan is dead now because of, the article doesn't say. Kevin Lee Donovan no longer breathes because somebody killed him. We don't know who. Kevin Lee Donovan, let's see. The U.S. troops, they have to obey rules of engagement. So Kevin Lee Donovan, let's assume that this report is true. He pointed a gun and he shot. Well, that means the police officer would be justified to open fire. But until there's a shooting with the troops' rules of engagement, if they're in, Iraq and they see, a bunch of guys with guns, they can't just start shooting those guys with guns. Even if the guys are putting the guns out, even if the guys are, they have to be shot at, it has to be, getting shot at. They have to hear gunshots. That's rules for engagement. But here in the United States, the cops don't have to wait for a gunshot. They just have to be slightly scared. Oh, my God, I was slightly, a little bit, tiny bit scared. So I wonder if they had, shots, and murder, dog, puppy, and... It's kind of incredible, the dumb shit that cops get all pissed off about. And the shit that I've seen in, in poor areas for decades, cops wouldn't be able to stand being poor at all, having to put up with this fucking bullshit. So that's what happened. Donovan backs away. They find him at a convenience store. Two guys try to arrest him. He backs away, and they say he brandished a gun. Which, it sounds weird. You brandished a gun, he's about to get arrested, and he just showed the gun. And then they said it moved out into the parking lot, so, hey guys, you just want to move this out into the parking lot. He brandished a gun, I don't know, I feel like they probably had their pistols pulled, so they had guns pulled right on him. They're making an arrest, so, I'm being somewhat critical just because, but this one sounds, it sounds like, he was out, wanted for an arrest. He's in Arkansas. He was wanted in Missouri. And then he runs, right? He's about to get arrested, and he just takes off. But the article, the cop's name remains anonymous. If he's our hero, then let's find out who our hero is so we can put him on a pedestal and champion him. Did he get fined? Did he get suspended? Was there body camera video? There should have been body camera video of that Chicagoan that got killed, and there should be body camera video of this Missourian that just got killed. And then the last one's going to be out of Jacksonville, Florida, the last one I'm going to talk about this morning. This is at a hotel, the Argyle Forest Motel. The police were called to the motel 4 times. 4 times the cops went out to the motel, and they didn't settle the goddamn thing. They didn't settle the fucking thing. The cops will say, oh, I've had to go out there 4 times, but you didn't settle it. Oh, you should have only been there once, maybe twice. and apparently involved some 4 people. So this is incredible. I've read a couple things about this. So Jacksonville, Florida, right? So killing, cops are killing people in Florida, killing people in Arkansas, killing people in Chicago. Here in Jacksonville, Florida, March 30th, March 30th, 2021. This is 2 days ago. 2 days ago, cops killed, 2 people. Yesterday, they killed 1 person that I just now talked about. They killed a dozen. They killed a dozen in the last couple of days, okay? So, Michael Leon Hughes. Michael Leon Hughes is going to get killed by the cops in Florida. The cops didn't solve the situation. They'd gone to the place 3 times prior. It's a black male, and it looks like a nice black man. He's got a nice face, a kind, gentle face. He just seems like a nice, kind black man. A nice, kind black man was killed in Jacksonville, Florida, and both had body cameras on. So apparently we're supposed to believe that Michael Leon Hughes says, "I'm going to kill you," he says to the cops. Both were wearing body cameras, so I'm sure, we'll find out who the cops were, what their names are. They didn't mention who their names are. 32-year-old Michael Leon Hughes, they at least mentioned the deceased, right? So that's better than that Chicago article. We at least know Kevin Lee Donovan and Michael Leon Hughes. But this is a domestic disturbance fight. It sounds like it's a boyfriend and girlfriend. Girlfriend's trying to get him to go, and he keeps coming back in. And there's gunshots. The cops come in, and then they say that Michael Leon Hughes had grabbed the stun gun out of a cop, and he's sitting there stunning the cop. And then that's when the cops shot and killed him. Oh, they did mention the cop's name, J.H. Wings. And then he's going to shoot 6 rounds. He's going to shoot 3 times. He's going to take a break. And then they said that that's when he lunged. And then he's going to shoot him 3 times again, handcuff him, and then give him CPR. But then, he's dead. So J.H. Wings, he's going to be on administrative leave. He gets a 2-week paid vacation. So boyfriend, girlfriend, verbal fight. It sounded, domestic violence. I think, domestic violence can be super fucked up. It could be a tiny little thing. It could be a gigantic thing. The person that needs to be listened to could be, quiet and silenced, and the cop and the bully might, get along with each other. I always felt like if I was to become a police officer and I walk up to a scene and I see 10 people, I would check myself, because I don't want to go up to the scene and then get with the bullies, the one that have all the power, so therefore all the confidence, and therefore they're going to be the ones that try to dictate the narrative and what had happened. I'd go to a scene and I would see the 10 people, and I would essentially size them all up, and the ones that I was afraid of. Okay, I'm afraid of A, B, and C. Those are the first ones that I need to talk to. Those are my first suspects. So instead of being intimidated and then, not admitting to it, and then instead of getting the bullies, now I'm being friends with the bullies, and then everybody else, and it's like, what the fuck, right? So Jacksonville, Florida, I don't know what the hell happened. Michael Leon Hughes, I mean, he's got a nice face. We all got, a mean side. He shouts, "I'm going to kill you," but it just sounds like the suspect, pushed the motel door open. It just took forever for eventually, I'm reading this article, and I'm like, what the hell did this guy do? And then eventually, like the first article just said, he pushed, right, the motel door open, which that's something, right, if you don't want somebody in your motel. But did they get the motel together? And then, okay, so he pushes the door in, and then later on, they're in a fight, and at the time, you don't know, whoever starts the fight is the most important thing. They were there 4 times previously, so, and then it started 6:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. If you get a phone call at 6:30 a.m., that's either a super late night or a super early morning. This is, okay, I just woke up, I'm tired of this shit, this isn't going to happen anymore. Or, God, we've been up all night, and this is, this can't happen. So 6:30 a.m. Tuesday. And then he's going to give him CPR after he blasts him 3 times. He handcuffs him first, which I guess, subdue the threat. He's fucking dead and limp, and they handcuff him, right? I guess just to make sure. And What if he needs to move his arm to get his chest right, you know? What if the way you pinched his arms, it's just so psychotic if you know that you shot and he's not moving at all and you handcuff him? He ain't going to run away, motherfucker. You should give him CPR as soon as possible if that was even a possibility of saving him. So there's 3 killings. Justified, maybe, maybe not. We're supposed to believe that all of them were justified. 3 killings. One guy pulled out a gun. Another guy said he was going to kill the cop, and he apparently grabs the stun gun from the cop, so he didn't even have a gun. The guy didn't, and this is all in the wake of the Boulder shooting, so we're talking about assault rifle bans. None of these folks had assault rifles. None of these folks had assault rifles. Kevin Lee Donovan brandished a gun, moved out to the parking lot, and then that's it. There's 4 or 5 shots. I heard 4 or 5 shots on a video from a distance, so you could just hear 4 or 5 shots. Kevin Lee Donovan, Arkansas, Mountain Home. So what the hell happened there? He brandished a gun and moved out to the parking lot, and then boom, 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 boom. Now Kevin Lee Donovan's dead. He didn't have an assault rifle, nor did that Chicago male, nor did Michael Leon Hughes. So he's got a kind face. I could see him being a criminal, but in general, you're innocent until proven guilty, right? And the police officers are the authority figures, so they're the ones that have to prove, you just killed a man. Prove to me that that man needed to die. Prove to me that you needed to murder that man for the safety of all of us. Because there's no way a dozen executions in the last 3 days, all of them were justified. Our damn judicial system takes fucking forever to put a man on death row to execute him, yet you're going to tell me these dozen street executions are going to be 100% on the up and up? We had no judge, we had no jury, there was nobody else that looked at that situation and said it was acceptable. We had nobody on that situation, nobody. So I'm going to come up with some more, I guess, cop killings. Cops murdering other people. Coming up.